teachers are extremely committed in Singapore. The teachers I speak with really want the best for their kids. There's a deep sense of pride, there's a deep sense of commitment, and so education seen as a means to build a nation. I would think that we take education very seriously because we are really a very small country. Very small country with no natural resources. Therefore, education to us, since independence, has always been a means by which we could forge a national identity, have Singaporeans come together as one. It was also a means by which we could ensure that in terms of our own economy, that we could make some headway and that economy could do well.
As the Ministry and the government more broadly have emphasised Singapore as a global city and have emphasised that its future lies in staying and developing as a global city, the role of teaching and education more broadly continues to get re-emphasised by the government. So over the last 12 or 13 years, there have been a series of policy announcements by the government that have really emphasised the critical role that education plays in nation building.
We deeply believe that the teacher is the key in bringing about changes. You can have all kinds of reforms. At the end of the day, it's the teacher that has to deliver that in the classroom. And that will make a real difference to the learning of the pupils that they are in touch with every day.
So in the very early years of our independence, the country was very poor, but yet we had to quickly educate a very large number of young people. So what we did was to have a very centralized, efficient system to build up the education system very quickly. So schools were built in cookie-cutter style, teachers were recruited in huge numbers all at one go. And after we've solved that problem, the next stage was to raise educational attainments.
That was a very important phase in our development because it really focused on the craft of teaching and learning.
Okay, so same thing, we will have 2 students to every terminal. If you have any issues with the terminals, raise your hand and I'll come to you. Okay? Let's go.
I think our basic belief is that no education system can be better than the quality of its educators. And so we place great emphasis on recruiting the right teachers. We start with a fairly high academic standards that our teachers are recruited from the top 1/3 of every cohort of students. And from that top 1/3, they go through a series of tests and interviews to ensure that we recruit teachers who are passionate about teaching and who cares about students. Then they go through rigorous training at the National Institute of Education.
Let me describe the philosophy behind our curriculum. First of all, we prepare a teacher to be first a teacher of the learner, number 1, and number 2, to be a good teacher of the subject. So the essential foundation is that a good teacher must first of all be very passionate and clear about how to help people learn and how people learn best.
Okay, the challenge for the next, say 10 minutes is this. If you had to do a made in Singapore movie about an inspirational Singapore teacher movie set in a, say, neighborhood school, what would this teacher look like and how would you film it? Okay, I've got Marcus here.
We have key roles to fulfill in this whole education system. I think first, we prepare all the new teachers that the education system needs annually. And on an annual basis, we graduate some 2,000 new teachers for the school system. And secondly, we have 31,000 teachers in the education system. And our policymakers rightly identify that the professional development of the 31,000 teachers in the school is as equally important as that of preparing new teachers.